Hello people! It is that time of year again, Eurovision! If you're new here, hello. I have been making YouTube videos for a very long time. I've got a backlog of over 1,000, so you can go and watch that if you'd like after this. I do a lot of different things, I talk about a lot of different things, but one thing that comes around every May, that usually the videos only end up going up in August, but still, is Eurovision. And it is Eurovision time. Now my camera may die in the middle of filming this, so just bear with if that happens. Sorry. It is Wednesday, the 8th of May, so we've just had the first semi-final last night, and another thing worth noting before I start is that I didn't listen to any of the songs beforehand. I was very busy with my studies beforehand. I've just finished university, and officially the due date for it was the 7th of May, and I made it the 6th of May for myself so that I would have the freedom to watch Eurovision without stressing, and that worked as planned, so that was good. So, let's go. Also, for a bit of background, my background is Dutch, so I always root for Holland, and kind of Belgium as well. I've got Belgian family, and also it's close to Holland. I kind of root for the UK, although only because I would love it to be here. I didn't get to go last year because I was away. I haven't ever got to go, but it is very high on my bucket list to visit Eurovision one year. It's ridiculous. I have family in Holland, Israel, and the UK, and in the last 5 years, it's been in Holland, England, and Israel, and I've not gone because things have come up. Very, very sad. Anyway, let's go. So, as soon as it started, my first impression was that it was a very cool stage. I like the design of it, and I didn't write this down, I like the way they did all the countries. Like, the way it was sort of a plus, and then it zoomed. I don't know. Hopefully you know what I mean. And then when Fuego started, I was not expecting that. I was expecting Noreen, although I always forget they only come out in the grand final usually. But I was not expecting Fuego, but I enjoyed it. It's a song I like, and it's a song I often listen to, so I did enjoy hearing it, live on stage. Well, not live, but anyway. Then when the second singer came on, I said, so this was interesting because I noticed this with the first one as well. I don't know if there was a problem with the singers or if there was a problem with the sound, because both of the singers sounded a bit, I don't want to say flat or off, but something about it was off, and I just put it down to the fact that maybe they couldn't hear the music or something. And then I also wrote, I want to be a part of Eurovision so bad, which is something that will probably come up more and more and more. And then when the third singer came on stage, I can't remember who it was, I wrote, Eurovision is the best. Then that was the singing finished, and we had our two presenters, and I wrote, so happy it's Petra, but wish it was Mans as well, obviously. That was the best duo. That was so good. I still listen to Love, Love, Peace, Peace. And then I wrote, I love that the audience is cheering for Petra too. Haha, the cheer for Petra after she said her name. Brilliant. And then she said something about Mamma Mia, here we go again. And I was like, yes, there's our first ever reference. Brilliant. And then I obviously went on my phone as well, and so I wrote, I love Twitter during Eurovision because it is just so silly. Okay, then we start with Cyprus. So the first thing I said was I liked the style of the postcards because I really liked that it showed past songs. I think that they should do that more often. I really like that. And then with some of them I knew the songs, and with some of them I had no idea or I couldn't remember at all. So I just really enjoyed that aspect of it. Then I wrote, I didn't love the start, but I'm warming up to it as the beat drops. And then I put in brackets, I always love, dancey ones. And then at the end of it, I wrote, not a huge fan of the song. But I did warm up to it, I must say. For Serbia, I wrote, ooh, cool opening, because they had the clouds and it looked really cool. And then I said, love the set, just in general. And then I said, not against it, but not a huge fan, but I do prefer it to Cyprus. Then for Lithuania, I said I liked the opening music even before sort of it started. Then I wrote, favourite so far, definitely. Love the floor lighting design, and I enjoy the dancing, it was cute, is what I wrote. Ireland, I wrote cool look, as in the whole, everything about it, the design of it all was great. Then I said, oh, I actually enjoy this already. And then she started screaming, and I wrote, oh, never mind, not a fan of the screaming. I don't like loud. And then I wrote, this is strange because I enjoy some of the performance of this because I liked all the witchy stuff, but I really don't like other aspects, such as the screaming. And then when she got changed into the trans, I said, yes, we support trans. Oh, I've just realised, it's a they, I'm so sorry. They're a they, not it's. I should not have been saying she. I'm very sorry about that. And then I just wrote, this is wild. Now, obviously, I've got a lot more notes because there were a lot more things happening during Eurovision semi-final 1, but my camera is flashing at me that it is going to die in sort of a minute or so we'll be back. We'll be back after a short intermission. Actually, you probably won't get an intermission because for you it'll just cut straight to whenever the camera is charged again. Hello! It is about 24 hours later. We are T-1 hour to the second semi-final, and we're going to try and get through the rest of this before it's supper time. So, we reached the first intermission after Ireland, and I wrote, I loved the commentary about being safe, a woman and alone. It was something, I think Petra said, this is the only place or the best place where you can actually be a woman and alone, and it's the best place to be, or something along those lines. And then there was something about 90 countries, and I think that was not the voting, I think that was how many people were watching, maybe? I can't remember, but I was very impressed by it. I couldn't believe how many that was. Oh no, that was how many countries were attending, how many people bought tickets from those countries. I don't know. Okay, then it was the UK's turn, and I wrote, yes, Puppet on a String. I wasn't expecting that at all, but I loved it. I was very excited because they used it for their postcard. And then I wrote, I skipped most of it because I was behind, so I had to catch up. I had to go get something, it was a whole thing, and so I decided to skip the UK because this is the first year that they are showing the full performances live from the Big Six. Well, the Big Five in the country. And I don't like that, really. I like the element of there being something new to watch. Why is my phone going mad? In the finals, because I liked that there were new things rather than just repeats of songs you've already seen. But anyway, that's a personal opinion. Then for Ukraine, I was shocked that they didn't show Vidushka as one of the postcards. I wrote rude. Then I wrote, I like what she's wearing. I love the staging. Not an amazing song, but I enjoy the performance. And actually, I think I grew to it. I warmed up to it. Poland, and then in brackets I just wrote, I really liked the style of Eurovision this year. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I just loved the whole design of it all. Then I wrote, well, that costume is something. Oh, cool horse thing illusion, when it was looking like she was on the horse. I was hoping it was going to be a bit of a repeat of Thunder and Lightning, it's getting exciting, whatever that one's called, You're the Only One. But it wasn't really. It just wasn't, which was a shame. Then I wrote, I liked the chess influence. I feel like the lyrics are great, but I don't love the music. I just felt like I didn't like the style of the music, but I felt like there was a lot of potential with the lyrics, and I felt like you could have made an amazing musical theatre song out of it, so that's why I wrote that. Then, here's the first of many, I'm sure, I just wrote, fire! And then I wrote, love the three dancers. As I mentioned earlier, I just love dancing and watching people dance. Croatia, love the lighting, and that was like the second it started. Love the smoke. And I sold my cow, I quoted. Brilliant. Oh yeah, I'm a fan. This is brilliant. Excellent dance moves, just the arm. Oh yeah, because he said something about like, join me in the dance moves, or I don't know, and then he literally just did that, but it was great. And then I wrote, this is definitely my favourite so far, and I don't think I'm the only one who thinks that. Iceland, good start. Very normal, but I like it so far. This is so basic, but I do like it, and she's obviously got a really solid voice. It felt like she was very comfortable with the way she was singing. There were a few performances before this one where I felt, it doesn't sound solid. Like, regardless of whether or not I liked the song, there were some singers I just felt, probably the nerves to be fair, but either it wasn't a comfortable range for them, or they just didn't have a good enough control. Whereas, I mean, you could still tell there were nerves there, but it felt like she was very in control of it and very comfortable with what she was singing. And that was just really nice to hear. And when I say basic, this probably has come up in a few songs or will come up in a few. There are Eurovision songs, and then there are songs that are good, but that, you know, you would just hear on the radio. And this felt like very much just a regular radio song, but it was still good. And to be honest, I felt the same way about Arcade when it won. I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that Holland won, full stop. I liked the song, I didn't love it, I wasn't blown away by it, but I just thought it's very standard. But then it won. But then if you go back sort of the year before that, I think it was, in Israel, when Toy won, that was a Eurovision song. It wasn't in Israel, it's when Israel won. Like, that was mental. Or if Cha 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 had won last year, which it didn't, but it should have, that's Eurovision. I mean, I've still got, how many more pages? 3 pages of notes to go, but I've just been called for supper. And then it's going to be Eurovision, I'm sure. So we'll finish this at some point. This is the second intermission now. Enjoy. All right, round 3. We've got about 20 minutes until the second semi-final. Let's go. For Germany, I said, yes, Lena, I love Satellite. Then I wrote, I like it. I really like it. Again, I was trying to only half listen because I want to have something fresh for Saturday, but I did really enjoy it. For Slovenia, I wrote, this is ... something. And then I wrote, she's clearly got a good voice. I just, I can't even remember Slovenia, but I think it went through. Anyway. Finland. I'm very curious about this based on the commentators. I can't remember what they said, but anyway. Then I wrote, egg, ? This is something. Oh my goodness, the fireworks. This was Eurovision. This was mental, but it was fantastic. Moldova. I'm excited because usually Moldova's pretty good in my books, although not in most people's. Then I wrote, I like the design style of it, the way it was whatever. Then I wrote, what's the thing on stage? Will she use it? There was a little stand, and then I realised later on it was a violin. And then I wrote, oh, violin, of course. Sweden, the opening notes sounded like the start of Tattoo, or a part of Tattoo. And then I wrote, also normal, but I do like it, and they've got really nice voices. Azerbaijan, I wrote, I like the lighting design. Can't remember it at all. Australia, I wrote, okay, here we go. Again, if you're new here, I have been quite passionately anti-Australia in Eurovision since they joined, but I do try and look at the song objectively without sort of taking into account that it's from Australia. And to be fair, the first year that Australia joined with Tonight Again, I thought was fantastic. I thought that was a great song, and I do still listen to it. Anyway, moving on. In the commentary, they said that they're going to be using Aboriginal language, which I thought was brilliant. I'm really happy about that. That's really cool. And then I wrote, this is actually one of the better ones, I think. Then I wrote, yes, Aboriginal, because the Aboriginal man came on stage. And then I wrote, yes, didgeridoo. And I'm going to be honest, it was one of the better ones, in my opinion, in terms of songs. Anyway, Portugal. I wrote, I like the eye makeup. I like the choreography. Why are people obsessed with big boxes? And I just, there's so frequently, there's just a big box on stage. Either the person's sitting on it, or it's behind the person, or it's above the person. And I don't know what the significance of it is, and I don't know why people are so obsessed with using it in Eurovision. And then I wrote, she seems sweet. Then for Luxembourg, I wrote, yes, Luxembourg, I'm so excited. Then I wrote, amazing hair. Already like it. Yes, I'm a fan. Really enjoying this. I really, really like this. The fast bits remind me of in Judaism, at Pesach, Passover, we do this song, which we don't have to do, but a lot of people do, called Echad Mi Yodea. And basically, it's kind of like the 12 days of Christmas, where it builds up. You go through the 12 or 13 different elements, and then you work backwards. And we, in our family, try and say that as quickly as possible. And that's what the fast bits reminded me of. And then I wrote, this is genuinely great. And the reason why I wrote that was because I was going to be rooting for Luxembourg anyway, because I am just so excited that they're part of it again after 31 years. But I could have been rooting for them and it be a rubbish song, and it would have been really sort of half-hearted. But I genuinely loved this. This was definitely one of my favourites of the night. So then I always make a want and an expect list. Now my want isn't always 100% love. If there's only 3 songs that I like, but 10 can go through, I will put anywhere between 3 and 10 down. And then I also put down what I expect. And again, with this, sometimes I only expect 7, but I know that 10 will go through, so I just guess the other 3. And in this case, I guessed 9, and then I had 1 that I was sort of tossing between, and I put that as my 10th, and that one was wrong. But for my want, I had Lithuania, Ukraine, Croatia, Iceland, Luxembourg, and then I wrote Australia. I don't know, I'm confused. And out of those, let's call it 5.5, I got 4. Spoiler alert. And then for what I expected, I wrote Cyprus, Ireland, Ukraine, Croatia, Finland, Australia, Luxembourg, Serbia, Portugal, and Poland. And as I said, I was tossing between Poland and Slovenia, and I think Slovenia did end up going through, if I'm not mistaken. But of the ones I wrote down, I got 8 out of 10, so not bad at all. All right, back to people commenting and whatnot. I think Petra, or one of them, said, I can't remember the other woman's name and I feel really bad, said something about if we lose, we'll just send Loreen, which I thought was funny. Then they were introducing someone and they said King, and the first one I thought of obviously was ABBA, and then I was like, no, that's not one. And then I thought of Mons, because I was like, why has he not made an appearance yet? But I'm sure he'll make an appearance in the grand final, I hope. But then I wrote, fine, Johnny Logan, fair enough. And then as soon as the music started, in all caps, I wrote, oh, shut up, this is not what I was expecting, but amazing, actual chills. That's when he started singing Euphoria, because I was not expecting that, obviously. Then I wrote, I love Tali, that was the representative for Luxembourg. I wrote, she seems so sweet. And apparently, a little thing here, my mum's friends, Tali is my mum's friend's cousin, which is pretty cool. Not that I know which friends, but it's, you know, like 4 degrees of separation. I love that. Then I wrote, it's really nice not to be stressed about any countries except maybe Luxembourg. Because I have multiple countries that I root for regardless of how good the song is. And it was really lovely for there to be a semi-final where I actually did not care if people went through. Like, I had the songs I liked and that I wanted to go through, but it wasn't like, you know, for me, Holland especially, Holland's the big one, where I'm really, like, really rooting for it. And I'm gutted if it doesn't go through. I think it's only not gone through once in the last 10 years or something, not to, jinx it, because it hasn't, second semi-final hasn't happened yet, and I want them to go through. Although I think they will. I've heard good things about it. I've heard people like it. But anyway, there's quite a number of, there's probably about 4 or 5 countries that I'm usually rooting for, and I'm very glad I didn't have that stress in the first semi-final, although you'll see from the rest of these notes that I did end up getting stressed about Luxembourg. Then I wrote, why is there a 15-second countdown? That's a bit random. Like, usually countdowns are from 10, 9, 8, you don't go 15, or they go from 59, you know, you get a minute. 15 is just really random. Then they were showing the participants for the second semi-final, and there was a huge cheer for Holland, so I got very excited. I was like, that's really good. Then I wrote, I love the flashbacks of songs, and that I know most of them really well. They did, like, I don't remember why or what they did, but they just went back and showed a few different songs from many, many past Eurovisions. And I knew, I think, everything except one, maybe, but I was very familiar with it, and it makes me happy. I love Eurovision, can you tell? Then Benjamin Gross, I wrote, there was a bit that he sung that was Same Me, and it sounded a lot like another song, but I don't know what. And then again about the song I wrote, I liked the start of it, didn't like it as much when it got mad. And then the bit where it went my, oh my, just sounded like Bad Romance. I didn't know if it was intentional or not, but it just sounded like Bad Romance. Then I wrote, I do like this mostly, I think. I really like this as an interval act. Is that still the same song? I can't remember. And then it got down to voting and I wrote, here we go. And then I wrote, now I am nervous, but why? Oh, okay, Serbia, wasn't expecting that. Nice, Portugal. Ooh, okay, wasn't really expecting Slovenia. Ah, nice, Ukraine, but unsurprising. Yay, Lithuania, I wasn't sure about that because I'd put it down as one of my favourites, but that was because the 2 before it was the third song. The 2 before it I wasn't such a fan of. And Lithuania was the first one where I felt like, okay, I actually like this somewhat. But I didn't know if the people agreed with me, so it was nice that they did. Then I wrote, of course, Finland. Ooh, I love the nails. Then this is the point where I start to get stressed. I was like, please let Luxembourg go through. Of course, Cyprus, unsurprising. Well, obviously Croatia. Of course, Ireland. Oh, please, Luxembourg, come on. It'll be Australia, though. The nerves. Yes! Yay! And that's the end. Eurovision is something, man. It's something, and I love it dearly. And I am looking forward to the second semi-final, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous about multiple things. But I am filming a vlog as well whilst this is all happening, just a regular vlog for my channel, so I will talk more about it on there. And then very shortly, well, maybe not very shortly between when you're watching it, but when I'm filming it will be hopefully quite shortly, I will film my thoughts and feelings and everything about the second semi-final, which I'm gonna go watch in like 5 minutes. Yay!